Greetings, citizens of the internet. You can call me Nitro Indigo, and today I'll be doing a Sims 4 build challenge. Don't worry, my entire channel won't become Sims 4 build challenges, but today's theme was each room is a different pack, but the packs are all from The Sims 3. Now, I didn't just want to match equivalent packs, so like, oh, if I got University Life, I could only use items from Discover University, because that'd be kind of boring, and not to mention that not all the packs have analogues. So instead I just used items that either were thematically relevant to the packs or were also in the Sims 3 pack I rolled, and I also wanted to represent every Sims 3 pack, so this house is huge. And this is my second attempt at building this, because the first attempt ended up just being way too big and I couldn't think of a good floor plan for it. And coincidentally, this ended up being next the house I did in the live stream. And I rolled Generations to the outside, and I was a bit stuck on what to do at first, because I don't think there are that many build mode objects in Generations. So I just ended up using the Parenthood windows, which you'll be seeing in a minute, because that's the closest thing to Generations in The Sims 4, but even then it's not exact. But fortunately, the Generations introduced a lot of garden items, so you'll be seeing those soon. And also, I wasn't really sure what colour scheme to go for at first, until so I was a bit stuck experimenting with different doors, because the Parenthood doors really didn't look good on the exterior, until I remembered that for some reason the box art for Generations is teal, even though the logo is orange. I always thought that shade of teal looked a bit weird. It looked a bit too futuristic, but whatever. It gave me an idea, so that's something. But anyway, Generations also introduced a lot of outdoor activities for kids. I debated over whether I wanted to use that custom content slide, but in the end I decided not to. And I know that there weren't any swings in The Sims 3 Generations, but The Sims 3 had even better because they were in the base game. And there also isn't an actual sandpit in The Sims 4, so I just used this tape, made one out of terrain paints instead. I hope Sims can step over that tape, because I didn't playtest this. And also it had a water slide, as well as a bunch of, well obviously, The Sims 3 Generations also had water slides and rocking chairs. So that's why I've put them there. Unfortunately, I forgot to do landscaping, and then I got seasons for the living room, But before I get to the living room, I realised I forgot that to decorate the outside of the house, so I do that quickly. There isn't the outside of the house doesn't really have anything to do with Generations. It was just because I thought it looked pretty. It looks like a house from the Cotswolds. I went there at the very end of 2019. What a different time that was. And I was kind of stuck on what to do for seasons at first, because I was like thinking of just using items from The Sims 4 seasons, but I thought that would be a bit boring because like it doesn't match up with the furniture from The Sims 3 seasons. So eventually what I decided for the living room was to basically make each corner one of the different seasons based on like the colours of the Sims 3 seasons logo. Honestly, something that bothers me about The Sims 3 is that a lot of the expansion pack logos look the same. Like the base game, Ambitions and Pets all have a really similar shade of light blue. So, after faffing around with the doors a bit more, you'll finally see what I'd put in. And also, I was constantly checking the Sims wiki on my phone to refresh my memories of what was in each Sims 3 pack, because it's been a hot while since I played it. The reason I haven't played The Sims 3 in ages is because it doesn't work properly. Like, I've heard it's optimised for older computers by, like, Windows 7 or something, which explains why my high-end PC doesn't run it properly. Like, I got this PC custom built at the start of 2020 because I wanted to do more YouTube videos, and I got this, and I ordered one that was that would be able to run Adobe Premiere Pro properly, and I don't use Adobe Premiere Pro anymore because it was too expensive, so I got a Moviavi instead. And it also took me a while to be able to fit the stairs in for some reason, bit of a glitch, and I also realised that I forgot to put a handrail on them, but oh well. And also, I didn't use any of the Sims 3 lamps, and the main reason for this is just I forgot, but also I couldn't register the Sims 3 base game or Pets on Origin because I got those as a bundle, so I can't find the download code, verification code thingies for them. So I don't actually have those in my Sims 4 game, because if you don't know, basically there are a bunch of Sims 3 lamps that are different coloured plumb bobs. Some of them have emotional auras that you can get in the Sims 4 if you have the corresponding Sims 3 packs registered on Origin. And also it took me a while to decide what to put in the summer corner before I realised a lot of stuff from backyard stuff would look good there, like the summer drinks tray. And now I'm just remembering this song from the Bobbinogs, I think it was, called Spring, Summer, Autumn, Winter, they're the seasons. And that's like pretty much the only thing I remember about it. And unfortunately I forgot to put an umbrella stand in this, but oh well. And I also I keep checking the Get to Work filters a few times while I was building the living room, because Get to Work introduced aliens, The Sims 3 seasons also introduced aliens, and I was thinking, oh, there might be alien-themed furniture in Get to Work, but there wasn't, so I just ended up putting an alien gnome from the base game in there instead. And honestly, looking at these, looking up all the expansion packs on Sims Wiki made me sad, because, like, a lot of these Sims 3 expansion packs have, like, multiple Sims 4 packs worth of stuff in them. Like, Sims 3 Seasons has, like, swimming in the ocean, although that was technically out of the patch, but you know what I mean. Snowboarding, and Halloween stuff, and stuff like that, which was in like multiple expansion packs in The Sims 4, although the snowboarding in The Sims 3 is different from Snowy Escape, so maybe it's not, but the point still stands. And I also, the other night, I was going to buy paranormal stuff after I saw Little Simsy say it was really good, and then I realised that the Steam sale had already ended, so I didn't. Yay. It also takes me a while to decide on the wallpaper for the winter corner. And how come that the light blue swatch for those snowflakes looks lighter than the actual white swatch? And I don't have much else to say about the living room, so... Next of all, I rolled late night for the itty bitty downstairs bathroom, which was, I was a bit stuck for a moment, and then I remembered that late night has the cheapest toilet and sink in the Sims 3, or at least from what I own, because I don't own any of the stuff packs because they're priced the same as the expansion packs on Origin for some reason. So I ended up just putting the cheapest toilet and sink from the Sims 4 that I had, which was the base game ones, instead. And I wanted to put down this University Life mirror you saw me putting, because it reminded me of a mirror in The Sims 3 Late Night that I used a lot, which was like, which is basically like, it was covered and had all these things stuck on it, but unfortunately it was really low down and I couldn't get it higher up, so I ended up not using it, because I just thought, oh hey, The Sims Late Night introduced vampires, so they don't have a reflection. And also I used the purple imaginary sunsets wallpaper because it reminded me of the Late Night logo. And now we're on to the Showtime office desk place thingy bobbity jig, because I made this blue, honestly, just because it would look like the Showtime logo, which is also why I used that confetti-like wallpaper. I don't know what it's actually called. But I really don't have much to say about this room. Oh, I put that hat there because there's a chair that looks like a hat in Showtime that I like using a lot. And I tried looking for pancake-themed furniture, but because there was also a pancake chair, but I couldn't find it because I didn't want to have to faff around with dragging through show-hidden objects. But I actually kind of like how this turned out. Like, I put the amps in there because it had the singer career, and the Hatsune Miku because also singing and DJing, because I think DJing was in, actually no, I think DJing was in Late Night, but it's kind of relevant to what's in, Showtime, so that's something. Oh, and also I wanted to use every Sims, free expansion pack for this, so I tried making 11 rooms, but I ended up accidentally having 12 instead. You'll see what I mean later. And this is you just faffing around with what to put on the walls for a bit. I don't have much else to say about this. And then I roll World Adventures for the kitchen. Now, I just ended up putting a lot of French country decor in there for no other reason than because it was in one of the countries in World Adventures was France. And I also keep looking for the Year of the Pig furniture, but I couldn't actually find most of it until later because that's the China part, and there really isn't much Egyptian furniture in this, so it's, and mainly just the France room. But I also put the bar there because the World Adventures had nectar making, and that's kind of like juice because they're both alcohol in The Sims. Are you allowed to put alcohol in 12 rated games, or is it not censorship and it's just quirkiness? The world may never know. And I'm slightly paranoid that I haven't been recording this on Audacity, and yes I have, it's good. I put those paper lanterns in there because they looked kind of Chinese-ish, and I was worried I wouldn't be able to fit anything else Chinese in there. And I chose that sandy wallpaper and flooring because it looked a bit Egyptian, because, as I said, there's not really much in The Sims 4 that screams Egypt. And next I got Into the Future for the dining room, and when I think of Into the Future, the first thing I think was hexagons, and maybe I'm conflating it in my memories of Lunar Lakes a bit because it just goes so well with the Into the Future furniture, but then again, the Into the Future logo is a hexagon, and it had plumbots in it, so I also decided to include some robot-themed furniture, by which I mean like 2 robot decoration things. Overall, this was a pretty simple one. Unfortunately, there aren't really many futuristic-looking items in The Sims 4. Maybe I'd have an easier time if I owned Journey to Batuu, but like most people, I don't. Honestly, when I saw that pack, I wasn't really actively playing The Sims 4 at the time, so I just thought it was just kind of weird rather than just getting angry about it like most people did. And I put the robotics workstation, I put the robotics home assignment thing there because it was related to plumbots, obviously. And that bookcase kind of reminds me of Into the Future as well. Overall, this is one of the easier rooms for me to do. And then I got University Life for the hallway. Now, University Life actually has loads of stuff in it as well. Like, once again, stuff that's spread across multiple Sims 4 packs. Like, it has bowling, it has laundry, which it shares with ambitions, because The Sims 3 did a weird thing where they'd sometimes introduce the same things in multiple packs. Like, they did that with vampires as well in Late Night and Supernatural. But what's really annoying is that if you have Supernatural but not Late Night, you can't get plasma fruit. Whatever. So I put the laundry hamper in there, and the University Life also has vending machines, so I had to include one, although it took me a while to decide. I almost put the foosball table in there, but I just thought it got in the way, because realistically, who puts that much stuff on their landings? It's mainly just a place to... In my house, at least, the landing is mainly just a place to store stuff that doesn't have anywhere else to go. And it also reintroduced a photography skill, which it shares with World Adventures, so I put a camera there. And it has bowling, so I put a bowling pin and something from Bowling Night on there. And I kind of made a lot of the furniture red and orange, not yellow, because the University Life logo is yellow. I kind of want to see other mainstream SimTubers do this, but I don't really have that kind of clout, but it would be nice to see this catch on. I don't want to be a game changer, though. And I kept trying to fit something to do with graffiti in here, but... because that was one of the many things in University Life, but I couldn't fit anything in, so I didn't put it in there. What a thrilling backstory. And next I get Supernatural for the bathroom. And now this is where I go back and redecorate the kitchen, because Supernatural has a lot to do with the moon, so I wanted to put some moon-themed furniture in here. And then when I was searching Moon, I discovered a lot of the Year of the Pig furniture. And I kind of like the aesthetic of Supernatural in theory, but because I just kind of like the general Yoldy mystical style, but in practice, all the starter homes, which I've played in multiple times, are really boring. They just look like the most generic American suburban houses ever. And as you can see there, I rediscovered the Year of the Pig furniture. But there are some things I like. There's this wicker furniture I really like in The Sims 3 Supernatural, so I put in a lot of things from Laundry Day stuff in here. And I also put things from Realm of Magic, because that's the closest Sims 4 pack, because I don't actually think Supernatural introduced any plumbing objects. But overall, the bathroom turned out really cute. Quite yellowish, because the candles, I just thought they looked the best. This definitely didn't turn out too bad. And next of all, I got Island Paradise for the master bedroom, by which I mean I actually got it for the smaller bedroom, but I thought it was the master bedroom because it had the door to the balcony. And by the time I realised my mistake, it was too late, but oh well. And I was originally going to count the balcony as a separate room, but then I realised that would mean that there'd be 12 rooms and there are only 11 Sims 3 expansion packs, so I ended up just making that an extension of the master bedroom instead. It takes me a while to decide on a light for this, because there's this string of seashell lights I really like in The Sims 3 Island. Actually, no, those are from Seasons, but I always used them in Island Paradise builds. Because I really like the aesthetic of Isla Paradiso, but it just doesn't run properly, and that's... one of the reasons I haven't played The Sims 3 in a while, as I said earlier. Like, the Isla Paradiso, like, gets so bad that most of the time it, like, freezes every few seconds, and I'm not joking. And I downloaded it in Rust to deal with it, and it helps to an extent, but it's not perfect, let's just say. And here's what I decided to do with the balcony. I basically decorated it like I decorate the top of a houseboat in The Sims 3, like, usually I put a fire pit on the top of a houseboat because it's not constrained by the laws of reality, but I put a grill there instead because it actually fits. It likes to get a lot of mileage out of backyard stuff, considering the only reason I got it is because it came with a bundle with Island Living. And honestly, like, I didn't actually use that much Island Living furniture for the Island Paradise room because Island Living is more like Hawaiian, whereas Island Paradise is kind of like Mediterranean-ish and it's very bright and colourful, whereas Island Living is mainly just brown and orange. And anyway, I got pets for the kids' bedroom, so I wanted to, like, obviously, we obviously just use a lot of furniture from cats and dogs in there, but because I put a lot of toddler furniture in earlier, I decided to have, like, a kid and a toddler, so I wanted to use a bunk bed to save space. And then I realised I made it bigger than the parents' bedroom, but oh well, as I said. And I don't know why I decided to make everything white, but what I do know is that I wanted everything to have sort of a ranchy look to it, because that's the style of The Sims 3 pets, and I also wanted to include something horse-related, but that toy there is literally the only horse thing in The Sims 4 that I own. I don't really have that much to say about this room, to be honest, because it's more like my Animal Crossing rooms where I end up just putting all the furniture around the edges and it just looks really boring in the middle, but not to the same extent, obviously. I'm also debating whether I should delete New Horizons off my Switch, because on one hand it's like 7 gigabytes and I haven't played it in over a year now, or at least it feels like over a year. I can't remember when I actually got it. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. But whatever the case. But on the other hand, I have this habit of just selling my Animal Crossing games and then years later regretting it and buying them again. And I just don't want to have to go through that. So, and it's digital obviously, so I can't sell it and I can't get a refund because it's too late. But whatever the case, I don't know. I just feel exhausted at the thought of playing New Horizons because it just feels like there's so much. When I was playing it, it just felt like I was just doing busy work and not really enjoying it because there was stuff like my inability to finish a sentence, and there's just stuff like you just picking. Basically, I spent a lot of my playtime just picking weeds. And by process of elimination, the last room is ambitions, and I used that default source light because I use that in The Sims 4 a lot, and it reminds me of a light in The Sims 3 ambition I use a lot. That's also really cheap and also really small. And I included the ghost gnome because there's a ghost hunter career and the robotics workstation because you could build plumbots in The Sims 4 and in The Sims 3 you could build sim bots in The Sims 3 ambitions, and they also moved the washing machine and dryer there because I just thought it looked better than being in the hallway. This is basically the miscellaneous room, and it takes me a while to decide what wallpaper to use, but then I remember that a lot of the furniture is that, like, Twinbrook is quite double gallery style, similar to Willow Creek, that kind of Louisianan old-fashioned style, if you know what I mean. So I decided to use some double gallery wallpaper because that's pretty much the only thing that selection has. And this is more of my... This is another example of my philosophy when designing Animal Crossing houses, if you can call it a philosophy, is just put everything against the walls, because I really couldn't think of what to put in here. Like, I wanted to put some fire-themed decals on the wall, but there weren't any, so that's the end of the build.